我理解成啥？哎，这不管钱啊，是吧？我是那我理解什么理解？我理解是跟分头的似的，我就管。这就跟咱们这边儿，往下落点。最多的那个，咋落点？你把整把搞到哪？行。我看那是这么那个，那乱七八糟的。在这块儿吧。这边。
You want one in the background?
Oh, no, I'm good, man. I'm just taking video.
Oh.
Try some silkworm. Not bad.
Yeah?
No. It's just like real nutty.
Good one?
Oh, I got it, man.
Wow. Here I go.
These MAC meetings usually last anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. However, there is one on record that lasted 11 and a half hours. This was called the bladder war, for obvious reasons. Each side literally sat there for 11 and a half hours. They did not get up until the meetings were over. And these meetings are translated into 2 languages, English and Korean. This was done so by translators that work simultaneously in the booths that you can see at either end of the building. However, the booths are no longer used, for the translators now sit at the heads of the table. If you notice this table, you'll see 3 microphones in the center. These microphones are monitored 24 hours a day by the joint duty officer. You can also see everything going on with a camera inside the Southern Translator booth. So I ask you please watch what you say and watch what you do inside this building, because they can see and hear everything that is going on. These microphones also represent the military demarcation line within the building. So all of you on my left On the other side of the table, you are technically standing in communist North Korea. Well, everyone over here is still safe with me in the Republic. Again, though, you are actually standing in communist North Korea. But speaking of safety and things like that, you notice these two South Korean ROK soldiers that approached this building. Okay, they are here for our protection, along with all the soldiers that are outside. You notice the way they are standing. They're standing at a modified position of Taekwondo, also known as ROK Ready. This stance, along with the sunglasses and helmet, is used to show no emotion towards North Korea. Now, you may have noticed two soldiers posted outside. If you look out the window, you can see one at the corner of that building there, and the other one is at the corner of this building here. They're standing directly at the corner with one eye on North Korea. This is to stand half exposed, which presents less of a target to North Korea in case they were to open fire on them. This also serves another purpose. These guys, if you notice the way they're standing, they will stand like that the entire time we are here, and they will not move. Soldiers standing outside, however, if they were to see something suspicious, the side that North Korea cannot see, they will raise their hand and alert their leaders if they see something suspicious. So this way North Korea still cannot see them move. Alright, I'd like to direct your attention to the Southern Translator booth now. You see a plastic sign with flags on it. At one point in time, there was a shelf there with miniature silk flags of each of those nations. However, in March of 2001, former U.S. President George W. Bush met with the former President of South Korea, Kim Dae-jung. Around the same time, they were shaking hands in Washington, D.C. The Joint Duty Officer watched the camera in the booth as two North Korean soldiers entered this building. They then proceeded to polish their boots with the U.S. flag, and they blew their nose with the South Korean flag. So the shelf was removed and replaced with that plastic sign, which will hopefully present a harder target. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this time a few rules. I ask you, please do not place anything on these tables. Please do not sit in any of these furniture. If you'd like to make a crossing into North Korea, if you haven't already done so, I ask you only do so on that end of the table to pay respects to the flag. Also, this soldier will not let you pass him, so please do not try and pass in front or behind him. That soldier in the back, do not pass behind him, okay? Do not pass behind him. That door is simply secured by two deadbolts, and that door does lead further into North Korea, okay? He will stop you by all means if you try to pass him, okay? You may stand next to them and take a photograph, okay? You can stand right next to this soldier here or that soldier in the back. That is fine. Again, just don't pass them. All right, as you stand about a foot or two to their side, depending on the soldier. Sometimes some soldiers will let you get a little bit closer, others won't. So that's why I ask you only stand about a foot or side, and then you can take photographs with them. But again, only in and out of North Korea on that end of the table. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
So they come to shore. He's sitting
Not very often, but every once in a while we'll see.
It's alright. It's just the
Usually about official communication between the North and the South. Look directly across the JDO building. Look to that two-story tan tower. That's KPA guard post number 2, and they are monitoring us at this time. So again, I do ask you, please not point, wave, or gesture towards North Korea. You will see me pointing and gesturing. North Korea knows that I'm just giving a tour. However, they do not know who you are, so if you were to point at them, they may view that as a hostile act. That's why we ask you not to. If you look at the bottom of the hill there, in front of the bushes, you can see some of the white stakes that stand at 1 meter height and are spaced at 10-meter intervals. They do mark the military demarcation line here within the joint security area. The MDL extends further on to Conference Row and bisects each building with that 17 by 5-inch slab of concrete. The first silver or gray building you see here to your front right is the North Koreans Recreation Center. It's named that ironically because it houses no recreational equipment and is seldomly used. Basically, all they use this building for is to house about 10 to 20 armed soldiers in whenever we have any talks between officers. When their troops are in this building, they've been known to pull back the curtains, point, and make derogatory gestures, such as the throat-slashing gesture, where they'll point their fingers at us like a gun. Due to all their childish antics, this building has been nicknamed the Monkey House. The first blue building you see here, T3, is used by the UNC Military Armistice Commission to hold all of the colonel level or the staff officer level talks. So I'm sure at one point in time you've either honoring us. Look across the field. You see a building with a long blue roof. Does everyone see that? That is the former Czech and Polish NNSC camp, but it is no longer used. To the left of that, a little bit closer to us, you can see an A-frame shaped building surrounded by a pine grove. This monument actually points directly to it. That is the North Korean People's Peace Museum. It is named that ironically because it actually houses 2 of the axes used in the 1976 axe murder incident. Again, like I pointed out down here, you can see we have the bridge of no return right where the bus is. We will be going down there shortly so you can get a pretty good view of it. But out here you can see we have Guizhongdong Propaganda Village. You see the flag is flying pretty well today. It takes a very large gust of wind to get that flag flying. It is not only 31 meters long, but it has a dry weight of about 600 pounds. So you can imagine with all the moisture in the air and the humidity how much it actually weighs. If it is not lowered during